Catching Up. This is Roger Watson, and this is my Connecting Continents column of 13th of September 2019 for the Reflections on Nursing Leadership magazine. First of all, from Sydney, Australia. My wonderful family vacation in the United States seems a long way back now, but it was memorable. It was my first visit to Washington, D.C. without being at a conference or other work-related activity, and it was a privilege to have time to explore the place at leisure. It was also good to show my youngest son, a history graduate, and his girlfriend around. They made repeated visits to the White House Visitor Center to buy gifts and quiz the ever-helpful shop assistants about the history of US presidents, as represented by the annual White House Christmas decorations. If you've not viewed these displays, you must check them out next time you're in Washington. And here's an editor's note. The 45th Biennial Convention of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing will be held in Washington from the 16th to the 20th of November. The highlight of my visit was the National Gallery of Art, which I'd not previously seen. With the range of paintings on display, I was in my element. All the big names are represented: Picasso, Mondrian, Modigliani, Pollock, Kandinsky and more. We also spent a week in New York during the July heatwave, which limited activities slightly. It was very nice to have time to introduce my family to Sean Clark, Executive Vice Dean for Academic Affairs at New York University's Rory Meyers College of Nursing. Clark is a long-standing friend I meet regularly at the Conference of the American Academy of Nursing. While in New York City, my family did the usual tourist visits. I went to the Museum of Modern Art. For the first time, I saw an original and very characteristic painting by Georgia O'Keeffe. Then on to China and back to work. My first work-related visit after returning from vacation was to Taiyan in Shaanxi Province, China, bordering Inner Mongolia. I was there courtesy of the local Shaanxi Medical Periodical Press to deliver a keynote for a training event attended by 150 doctors and nurses from across China. With two Wiley-related editors, Fiona Timmins, editor of Journal of Nursing Management, and Eileen Lake, editor of Research in Nursing and Health, I was in good company. Carol Ucha, editor of Biological Research for Nursing, was also with us. In addition to the conference, an interesting social programme was arranged for us with visits to museums and other places of interest. I especially liked Yingxi Park, which was very close. The air quality was good and I was able to run there twice. It was nice to get away from the UK news and Brexit-related politics for a while. In fact, it was nice to be away from news altogether, but that meant I heard nothing about Hong Kong for a few days. News there is heavily censored, with CNN going offline for the duration of anything controversial. On landing in Hong Kong on my return journey, I learned the situation had grown more tense. After returning to the UK for less than a week at the start of September, I attended the Royal College of Nursing International Nursing Research Conference in Sheffield for 3 days. Along with Alison Tierney, Hugh McKenna and Parveen Azam Ali, I organised a symposium on the theme of research impact. It was billed as a tribute to the late James P. Smith, founding editor of Journal of Advanced Nursing. On to Australia, and at the kind invitation of Michelle Cleary at the University of Tasmania Sydney campus, I spent 3 days in that city doing consultancy work with colleagues on staff development and manuscripts for publication. Although located at a relatively small outpost of the University of Tasmania's main campus, the team has become tightly knit and highly productive under Cleary's leadership. I've known her and watched her career develop for more than a decade, as she's held positions at other universities in Australia and Singapore, where I've held visiting positions. I normally visit family while in Australia, but I headed back to the UK to an international family reunion of cousins from Australia, Canada and the UK. My next reports will be from Europe, specifically from Turkey and Italy.
This podcast was produced in association with YouPublications Limited.com.